Night. The Raiders are on the clock. 5 minutes left to go. No doubter right here. They're going to take Fernando Mendoza. Compared to Matt Ryan, well, this magazine does. Turn this down real quick. But they compared him to Matt Ryan. I actually compared him to Andrew Luck, in my opinion. But in 2 seasons at Cal and 1 at Indiana, Mendoza has proven that he's more than just the latest Heisman winning quarterback who may or may not succeed at the NFL level. Mendoza has the traits you want. He's incredible when it comes to reading defenses. He's got the arm to make all the throws. His pocket movement is a real plus, as was the case with Matt Ryan. Pocket movement will be crucial for Mendoza's future because he's never going to be the first guy you think of when it comes to making second action plays outside the pocket. You can succeed in the NFL with that particular skill. House is dialed in as it is with Mendoza. So basically, in this comparison to Matt Ryan, I mean, they're saying that he's not a creator out of the pocket. That's something that I saw on tape as well. But he's got good mobility. I like the fact that he will take on linebackers, but he's going to need to learn to slide at the NFL level. What's up, DB? How you doing, bro? Lakers are 2-0, man. Congratulations. Nobody thought the Lakers could actually to win that series without Luka or Reeves, but LeBron stepped up. The pick is in for the Raiders. It's got to be Fernando Mendoza, right? It's a slam dunk. I don't even know why they needed to take the whole 10 minutes. They should have just first minute in, just come right to the podium. Fernando Mendoza.
Who knew Tom Brady was going to be like that? I said, if Tom Brady knew he had Tom Brady to tutor him every day, it'd be a much better chance. He turned into what Tom Brady was.
That would be very different. And he's so smart. He's so smart, right? Fernando, like, there's the likability factor, the work ethic, and, you know, I'm always going to remember that interview after the Big Ten championship game. We're flipping champs, so hopefully we get more of those.
Ty Simpson, it could be a long night for this guy.
I think for them also,
He might not be a first-round pick. If it's not the Steelers, then I don't know who's going to take Ty Simpson.
Remember in a while, not just in round one. I do think you'll have 2 quarterbacks go. I think you'll have him. I think you'll have Ty Simpson go in the first round.
You do
as well. Yep.
So Glazer thinks Simpson's going first round. It's really only one team unless the Rams jump back into the first round and grab him. Here he comes.
Has thrown out a lot of different names for him. I get Andrew Luck vibes from Mendoza.
I see that.
With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza.
No doubter. And the culture changes just like that. Raiders take Mendoza. They got their quarterback of the future. No more veteran quarterbacks. Minshew, Geno Smith, Garoppolo. Them days are over. Fernando Mendoza, the bulldozer. Mendoza's a big, accurate passer whose ideal height gives him valuable vantage point from which he can deliver the ball to all levels of the field. He throws with consistent touch, anticipation, layering throws with precision, and leading his targets into open grass to help create natural separation from defenders. Mendoza throws a pretty ball, and he's not afraid to be aggressive downfield, giving his playmakers the opportunity to make a play. He's got adequate athleticism for a bigger quarterback with the ability to navigate a muddy pocket and still keep his eyes downfield, as well as pick up valuable yards and move the chains when forced to use his legs as a runner. That's what I like about his game, is that he can beat you on 3rd and long with his legs. Mendoza is a vocal leader with valuable intangible traits. I agree with that. I think he's going to have to learn the verbiage at the NFL level, like how to call a play, but he won't struggle with that, though, how smart he is. This guy went to Cal. Weaknesses. Many top quarterback prospects bring arm arrogance to the NFL level, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but where Mendoza's arm gets him in trouble is when he locks on a particular receiver or gets to a target late in his progression and still thinks he can put enough juice on the ball to make up for a bad decision. He needs to learn when to abandon a lost play instead of serving up takeaways with late, difficult throws. He's a decent athlete, but Mendoza doesn't have the speed or explosiveness to run away and create out of the pocket. He could use a little extra bulk on his tall, lean frame before he starts getting hit by pro defenses. Yeah, I mean that's not really a lot of weaknesses. Being that he does press at times, tries to do too much. I think a Kubiak game plan where this guy doesn't throw over 20 passes a game, they can lean on Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. I mean, it could be a run first type of an offense under center. So with his prototypical height and his arm talent, Mendoza checks plenty of physical boxes NFL teams are looking for a potential franchise passer. He's athletic enough to get out of trouble and maybe a little extra. And he's nuanced. He's a nuanced thrower that can win with velocity or touch. Throw in his leadership qualities, and you've got a recipe for a quality starter if he can avoid those late reads and turnover-worthy throws. And I don't see the turnovers. I mean, he had a couple bad games, but really with the right game plan, the right head coach, I think the Raiders finally have that head coach in Kubiak. And it helps. He ended up winning the Super Bowl last year. So he's bringing in big game experience. They brought in a ton of free agents. Linderbaum, the center, is just going to help that offensive line out. Last year, 3,500 passing yards, 9.3 yards per attempt, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I mean, that's efficient right there. And in the college football playoff, there was a point in the playoff where he had more touchdown passes than incompletions. So Raiders got a good one there. So Jets are on the board. The pick is in next. This has got to be a defensive lineman right here. Got two guys we're looking at right here with the Jets. It's a two-horse race. Arvell Reese. And this book actually has him as the number one edge defender in this draft. But I actually disagree. I think it's Bailey. I really do. I don't know if Reese is more of a linebacker or if he's a pass rusher. I'm not really sure. But I know Bailey can get to the quarterback. 6'3", 250, 22 years old, ran a 4.5. Here you go. This is big for the Jets. They lost out on the Mendoza sweepstakes. See what's going to happen here.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select David Bailey.
Bailey! Damn! The one guy that reminded me of Derek Thomas, the Jets got. Damn, I was hoping Bailey would slip. He got a good one, too. Jets knew what they were doing because Reese is a tweener. You don't know what position to play Reese at. Is he Isaiah Simmons? Is he Brian Urlacher? Is he a pass rusher? What is the guy? But we know what we're going to get from David Bailey. You're going to get 10 to 15 sacks his rookie season. That pass rusher who is so quick off the ball, it looks like he's offsides or just about every snap. That's Bailey, who has an explosive first step that borders on unfair and likely keeps opposing offensive tackles up at night. He's not just a speed demon either. Bailey can convert that speed to power with explosive hands and a nasty bull rush. And he's got a deep bag of initial moves and counterattacks that ensures he can get to the quarterback by any means necessary. He's got he's a high motor defender who plays a full tilt for all four quarters and beyond. And his ability to create pressure and finish them with sacks, especially in clutch situations, is one of the most valuable traits any prospect can have, regardless of position. He's surprisingly comfortable dropping into coverage as well when asked, and he has the athleticism and versatility to fit multiple schemes. Yeah, I mean, he could play a 4-3, 3-4. From what I had heard, he wasn't a 4-3 guy. But didn't put his hand in the dirt. And then I watched him. I was like, man, he can do both. He's not just a one-trick pony. His weakness, Bailey lacks ideal bulk for the position. And if you watch him at the combine, he's huge. So I don't know what they're saying about that. which can bite him when he's forced to anchor on the edge against the run. Powerful tackles and pulling guards can dive him out of the play when they get locked onto his frame, and he can just a split second too late when trying to diagnose zone read action, leading to missed opportunities for tackles in the backfield. He can be aggressive in over pursuing the ball carrier at times, leaving the edge open for cutbacks. So he's trying to get to the quarterback mostly every play. And I think experience will help him with that, reading down and distance and knowing when teams are going to run the ball or not. But his first couple years, I mean, his job is to get to the quarterback. If you're looking for the most explosive edge rusher in this class, Bailey is your guy. There are more complete players in this position group, but nobody brings the juice off the snap around like he does. Adding some power and lower body strength would help his effectiveness against the run, but his ability to impact the quarterback with speed off the edge is enough to warrant a top 10 selection. And I think he did get stronger from what I saw at the Combine. This guy went to Stanford, student of the game. Just looking at the stats in 2022 at Stanford, 2.5, 5 in 2023, in 2024, 7, and then Texas Tech, he had 14.5. So the good thing is he's getting better every year. He hasn't peaked yet. That's the problem I think what the Chiefs have with with Xavier Worthy, is I think he peaked too early, and he's just having trouble getting better. So 10 forced fumbles as well. My God. So the Cardinals are on the clock here, and if you ask me, this is either offensive tackle or Arvell Reese. You better take Arvell Reese too. But one thing is about Reese is they took Isaiah Simmons a few years ago and then had to get rid of him. He was a high pick for them. And Reese kind of, he's kind of screaming Isaiah Simmons, same type of height, same type of weight, was around that same age, 20 years old. He's young. He might need a year to get right. I think the pick is Reese because Cardinals aren't going anywhere. They play in a really tough division with the 49ers, the Seahawks. There's no way they're getting past them. So a pick for me right here is going to be Reese or Magayo. Plan B would be Magayo. Well, they actually have Fano rated as the number 1 tackle in this draft. This must have been a long time ago. Yeah, I picked this up today, but it must have came out a couple months ago because Magayo now is the number 1 tackle in this draft. And I think the reason why he's 20 years old. Fano's 22. He played right tackle. Magayo played left tackle. But Magayo is versatile. He can play guard as well. And I know you don't want to take a guard at number 3. That's why I think they're trying to trade back right here. If they don't like Reese, and the pick is in, obviously, they can't trade back now. Here he comes. Pittsburgh giving them the business.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Jeremiah Love.
Wow. Win a pick before I thought he would. Man, I thought he would go to Tennessee. They got the best offensive player in this draft, that's for sure. Arizona's got to get more explosive, and they did. First shocker right there to me. I thought for sure it was going to be Reese or Magayo. Didn't think they would go Love. They just got so many holes on that roster. So with an ideal blend of explosiveness and functional strength, Love has the speed and burst to run away from would-be tacklers, as well as the power and physicality to run through them when necessary. He shows the elite vision and patience with the ability to diagnose his path and set up blockers before exploding through the second level into the secondary. His contact balance and lateral quickness allow him to force missed tackles in multiple ways, and Love has the long speed to take any carry to the house. As a receiver out of the backfield, Love shows soft, reliable hands and the ability to make big plays when he gets the ball in space. And Love, I had heard something from a scout that said Love could possibly be the best slot wide receiver in this draft. There's just a lot of things you can do with him. Punt return as well. He probably won't do that at the NFL, being that he's going to be a big part of Arizona's offense, but not a lot of weaknesses. I mean, you can have character as a strength. I mean, he went to Notre Dame. Could have came out last year. No, he's a junior this year, right? Yeah, 20 years old. 20 years old. He's a junior. 6 foot, 214 pounds. 1,300 yards this year, but he could have ran for way more. They had a two-headed monster at Notre Dame. Kept him fresh. He's got fresh legs. I mean, they didn't overuse him at Notre Dame. Never had over 200 carries. 1,000 yards the past couple years. Big touchdown numbers as well. 18 touchdowns in 2025, 17 in 2024. Like I said, he can catch the football as well. 27 receptions, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns in 2025 last year. So, yeah, not a lot of weaknesses. He's a pretty clean prospect, but he's been banged up multiple times. I mean, if there's anything you could question would be his durability, and his punishing style of play could lead to questions about his durability at the next level. He can hurdle over would-be tacklers, and those kind of things bring injuries on and are dangerous against NFL defenders. I mean, yeah, I mean, he's going to keep his same play style. He's not going to change anything, but that would be the only thing is him getting injured. So Arizona, I'm not a fan of babying a running back when you take him number 3 overall, but with Love's play style, he could just probably be in for first down, third down. Take him out and, bring him back in on third and long, third and short. But a complete back who can make explosive plays happen on the ground and through the air. Love is that dynamic weapon who can instantly transform any NFL offense with his 3-down skill set if he can stay healthy. Love has all the physical and mental tools to make a big impact right away at the next level. As both a runner and receiver, he is one of the best prospects in this draft with immediate Pro Bowl potential. I don't know about that, but I would say he is the best offensive prospect in this draft. But yeah, the only question about him would be his durability at the next level, just the way that he plays. But he's going to be dynamic. He's going to have the 80-yard runs, breaking the tackles. His yards after contact are going to be at the top of the NFL. But Cardinals got a good one. In the past 3 picks have been really good. The Titans right here, I guess they could go Arvo Reese. Take what Arizona didn't take at 3. I mean, that would be the best player available right now. In my mock draft, I actually had him taking Jeremiah Love, but might have to go to a plan B here. Well, do you get Cam Ward a weapon? Or do you go defense here with Arvo Reese? I'm saying Reese.
NFL draft, the Tennessee Titans select Carnell Tate.
Wow.
Wide receiver.
They got him a weapon. Another shocker. Wasn't expecting him to take Tate. And some actually said he wasn't the best wide receiver on the board. Some actually like Tyson over him. Some actually like Lamont as well from USC. But he's number one on this list as well. An explosive playmaker who can win in multiple ways. Tate has more than enough speed to threaten opposing defenses over the top and short area quickness to create consistent separation with sharp, decisive routes. He's got strong hands at the catch point that allow him to hold onto the ball through contact, allow the body control, leaping ability, and catch radius to frustrate smaller defenders in the red zone. Tate shows quality instincts and burst after the catch, and the smarts to quickly diagnose zone coverages, finding soft spots and exposing leverage to give the quarterback an open target. He's willing and able as a downfield blocker, working to spring his teammates up for big gains, even when the ball doesn't come his way. So he's not a selfish player at all. Remember, this guy's also been in a ton of big games for Ohio State. Something the Titans need with that young roster. But yeah, Tate is the all-around wide receiver. 21 years old, 6'3", 195 pounds. He's got the spectacular catch. Can read the zone coverage. They're going to give him a couple routes. He's going to have the option route. He's going to have the regular play route as well. This guy's smart. I can really see him being a top wide receiver in the league in the future. But we'll just see how Cam Ward is. I mean, he didn't look great to me in his rookie year, but he didn't have a lot to work with either. So the Titans are getting him a weapon. And, you know, they're trying to get better on offense. They had a tough time scoring the football last year. His weaknesses, Tate brings ideal height to the table, but he's got a little bit of a lean frame that can get exposed by more physical defensive backs at the next level. So what he struggles with is man press coverage. When the DB gets right up on him, he'll get better at that, though. He'll put a little bit more muscle on, get with the right coaches. They'll show him how to get better feet, quick feet, to beat that type of a coverage. But he could always try to bulk up a little, but that could be a double-edged sword. It cost him his explosiveness and speed that makes him such a dangerous playmaker. He was a little bit dinged up this season, so durability could be a concern at the next level. I disagree with that. He played a ton of games for Ohio State. 13 games in 2023, 15 in 2024, 11 in 2025. He's got a ton of experience. You go and you look at a wide receiver like Jordan Tyson, 9 games in 2022, 3 games in 2023, 12 in 2024, 9 in 2025. I mean, Tate's almost got more games played 3 years to Tyson's 4. So durability should not be a question at the next level. He does need to bulk up. We always say to scout the player, not the helmet, but there's a reason Ohio State keeps putting wide receivers up in the first round. Is the latest in a long line of well-rounded pass catchers to come out of Columbus, and he checks every box from a physical, mental, and technical standpoint that should translate to a quick and sustained success at the next level, no matter where he lands. It's a good pick. Not a great pick. It's a good pick to get Cam Ward a weapon, but I just think I would have went with Reese there. Just with his potential, what he could be, but you can't go wrong with the Carnell Tate. Did they take him a little high? I mean, some mock drafts didn't even have him in the top 10. Some had him from that 5 to 10 range. Actually had him being taken by Cleveland at pick number 6. So the Giants now are on the clock. Should be. Should be Reese. But they just took Abdul Carter last year. Take a wide receiver. They lost Wandell Robinson. Maybe this pick could be Jordan Tyson. I got it right here. It's Sonny Styles. This pick would be Sonny Styles right here. They're not going to let this kid get away. 21 years old, 6'5", 243, and he runs like the wind. Ran a 4.4, I want to say, at the combine. He's 6'5", mind you. Little bit of a drop off in 2025, but he played 2 less games. Tackles for loss weren't great, 6.5. Had 1 sack. I'd say the numbers were down from 2024, but sky's the limit for this guy. He's got that it factor. He's like a sleeper, like you know he's going to be good, but three forced fumbles last year, an interception, 9 pass breakups. What I like about him is he can cover tight ends. You don't see a lot of linebackers being able to cover tight ends. You kind of consider that a mismatch nowadays. And Styles is like that rare type of a linebacker. You can play inside, then go and match up with a tight end. If that tight end, they're in shotgun, that tight end's like lined up right next to the line of scrimmage, Styles can man up with them. The only thing I see here is the numbers drop off from 2024 to 2025. 10.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 last year, 6 sacks to 1 sack.
We are honored to recognize the surviving family of United States Army Major Paul C. Wilkie. Major Wilkie sustained tragic fatal injuries while deployed in Afghanistan. He is survived by his wife Tracy and their 2 sons, Andrew and Benjamin. Major Wilkie was raised in the Hudson Valley.
This is smart by the Giants right here. Put an Army family that lost a loved one to make the pick. You know it's going to be a hit right here when you do this. It's got to be Styles.
The New York Football Giants select Arvell Reese,
Wow.
linebacker from B.
Passed on Styles and took Reese. Took the different type of linebacker, the pass rushing tweener. Well, he can't cover the tight ends like Sonny Styles can, but they're just looking for pass rush help, I guess. I mean, they got Abdul Carter last year. Then they grabbed Reese this year. They got pick number 10, so I'm sure they're going to fix their defense. So Reese gets picked up. He didn't slip too far like I thought he might. So here we go about Reese. 6'4", 243, 20 years old. He's young, very raw. Versatile front seven defender with experience and skill set to excel at multiple positions, Reese can wreak havoc from just about anywhere on the field. He's made the transition from off-ball linebacker to edge player look seamless this season, using impressive first-step quickness, length, athleticism to be an effective pass rusher. He can win with both speed and power off the edge, keeping opposing blockers guessing from snap to snap. The fluidity and range that made him a talented linebacker prospect are rare among edge defenders. He's got the motor to consistently chase down players from the backside or pursue across the field. His unique skill set allows him to be reliable and opportunistic when asked to drop in coverage, shutting down passing lanes with his wingspan and wrapping up ball carriers in the open field to limit big plays after the catch, thanks to his polished tackling and technique. I mean, and he gets probably overlooked playing at Ohio State because every player on that defense is good. I mean, you don't really get a chance to stand out really at Ohio State. But last year, 7 sacks, not bad. 6.5, his sophomore year. 10 tackles for loss. That's going up. That number is 3.5 his sophomore year, 10 his junior year. The tackle numbers are going up, and he played in less games. So Ohio State asked him to do a lot last year. Only 2 pass breakups. So like I said, unlike Styles, he's not covering the tight ends. Who they got in that division? They got Goddard. Cowboys got a pretty good tight end. Yeah, I don't think they need to cover the tight ends. But as a pass rusher, Reese still has a ton of room to grow in terms of his technique and hand usage, as he wins more with pure athletic ability at this point, depending on his bag of initial moves, and learning how to set up and execute well-timed counterattacks will be key to taking this next step into development. He can be a bit too aggressive at times as both a run defender or in coverage, biting on play action fakes and overrunning gaps to leave open cutback lanes. From what I saw a little bit, he was like a dog chasing cars. He's a little lost out there. Oh, the Chiefs just traded up to 6. Chiefs just went up to 6. We can get Styles. We lost a linebacker. We can get Styles. Chiefs just moved up to 6. The pick is in. Not too far. Man, we might have had to give up a third or a second for that. Hopefully we didn't give up pick number 40. Tyson, we got Styles on the board. I think it had to be. I think this is going to be Bain. I wonder who this is going to be. Do they get a weapon for Mahomes right here? It was a sleeper pick. Not a lot of people were thinking it. Corner was coming in late on a lot of mock drafts. I don't think it's going to be corner at 6. Don't tell me they traded up to get Bain.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane. Defensive back.
Traded up to get a cornerback? The hell?
Delane transferred from Virginia Tech, went to LSU, turned
It's
into
disappointing.
an elite player and has worked himself into being
It's
6th
disappointing.
overall pick of the draft. 5, the Kansas
We
City
do so
Chiefs
good with cornerbacks. I'm not sure why we would trade up for a cornerback when we've been known to get guys in the 3rd and 4th round and making these guys good.
player 5th overall in 2000.
They must have been just so afraid of people throwing on us next year.
They had to get a corner. That's why we saw him move up to get the best corner.
Well, he's going to play 5 years for us. We're not going to pay the guy.
You better have somebody to fill his shoes, and there he is.
We don't pay cornerbacks. You saw that Watson and McDuffie leave, so Pick number 6 right here. You just got this guy for 5 years. Not going to be stay a ton of time with the Chiefs. I try to be positive, trying to think positive about it, but and they went away from Bane too. Could it have been the character things about him getting in that accident? That was huge. So they stay away from Bane, they go DB. Not a lot of people were saying DB either. I know I wasn't. Definitely was not thinking DB. It's just a position we've always been able to coach up. And I never thought about ever reaching in the top 10, getting a corner. But Delane, I didn't do a lot of research on this guy because I didn't think the Chiefs would pick him at all. I actually had him going 10 to the Giants. Damn. You had Styles out there. You had Bane out there. Here's Delane. 6 foot, 190, 22 years old. He's an older rookie. I'm going to need him to start day one. Like, he's going to have to start making plays day one for me. Transfer from Virginia Tech, Delane has a ton of starting experience under his belt against top competition, and it shows. He's a polished technician who seems to know what his receiver is doing before it happens. He doesn't waste time with any false steps, staying sticky through every route and making life miserable for opponents with his physicality from snap to whistle. Delane is an opportunistic playmaker who trusts his preparation and ball skills to get his hands on throws that come his way. His toughness also extends to the run game, where he's not afraid to get his hands dirty when shedding blocks and bringing down ball carriers. That's why we got him, because he can stop the run. He's a bigger cornerback, 6 foot, 190, and he can stop the run too, and he's got really good press coverage. Still, I don't like the pick. I really don't, but maybe they weren't feeling Bane's arm length. They weren't feeling Bane's character off the field. But in all the mock drafts that I had, I never saw anybody have us trading up to get a corner. They always had the corner falling right at 9. I don't know what the trade was. We went from 9 to 6, but I'm assuming you're going to have to give up a second or a third round pick for that. I give the selection a B. Just because. So you had the Redskins in front of them, and you had the Saints. I don't think the Saints are. Saints' third thing was getting a corner. Alontae Taylor set to hit free agency. Styles goes the next pick to the Commanders. Just shocked right now they went and traded up for that corner. Maybe Reese was their number one guy on the board. Maybe they were thinking he was going to fall to him. When he got selected, Delane was their second guy on the board and made sure they got their second guy on the board. So Sonny Styles goes 7. Chiefs trade up to 6 with the Browns and get Mansour Delane, the corner out of LSU. Now the Saints are on the clock. Man, I get a cigarette after that one. That one fucked me up, man. A corner? We traded up for a fucking corner? understand it because we do so good coaching up cornerbacks. We just had Tavarius Ward, who was a undrafted free agent. He got a huge contract. Jalen Watson, a 7th-round pick. Sean Smith, he got a big contract. You don't need to grab a corner that early. Come on, man.
And enjoy.
That ain't good.
What are you doing over there? Any more insight?
I'm sorry, plenty of insight over here.
It's not a horrible pick, but it's not a great pick either. It's not a good pick. It's an average pick right there. It's a conservative pick.
Caleb Downs. If Reese was there, Reese obviously isn't. They're going to end up going Sonny Styles, and the New Orleans Saints will be on the clock. And the Saints have kind of, try to put out that they like pass rusher here, but also I know that they like wide receiver in this position also. And they had Jordan Tyson above Carnell Tate. So I think if he's there, they end up kind of being a little shocker here too and going wide receiver with Jordan Tyson.
You mentioned having Dan Quinn as a guy that could use a defensive player the right way because of his defensive prowess, right? This is, again, I say he's a for sure shot guy. It's a legacy pick. His dad played at a high level, played at Ohio State as well. I think he's a Fred Warner type guy. I can only imagine what type of impact he's going to have. We mentioned the whole idea of the middle backer position, off the ball position, maybe taking steps back in terms of value. But like you said about Jeremiah Love, there are those few linebackers out there that possess that multi-dimensional type of way of playing the game. They can cover, they can tackle, they can pass rush. That's Sonny Styles. He's a complete package.
And the only reason I didn't put him in that group before is because he's only had 1 year here. That linebacker, he's played safety.
Safety.
So, but
which is our Urlacher did. Urlacher was a safety.
But Urlacher is 268.
Yeah.
So what, and return punts. What better place for him to go, Sonny Styles, though, with Dan Quinn? They're going to learn with Dan Quinn, who's just such a great job. And even when he did it with Bobby Wagner last year, right?
Yep.
And Bobby did a great couple of years before going back to DQ, and he did. I think it's a perfect place for him to go with Dan Quinn.
All right, guys, the picks are in for 6 and 7. We're going to catch up here and have more time to react.
With the 6th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane, corner, LSU, 6'187". With the 7th pick, the Washington Commanders select Sonny Styles, linebacker, Ohio State, 6'5", 243 pounds.
I have to admit, I do have favorites once in a while in college football. Sonny Styles was one of my favorites I've ever been around. He's such a good person on the field and off the field. He had so much involvement in the community, and I was just blown away by how he was as a brother, as he was as a son, his family, and you mentioned the position change, right? I've literally watched his body evolve throughout the years at Ohio State, and I always felt like he was this unsung hero, and I think he's going to be special.
I totally agree with you. The draft is in Pittsburgh. I'm sure it's a special moment for him. His father played his ball at Farrell, PA, right maybe 45, 50 minutes away from where his son is getting drafted. It's got to be a great moment for not only Sonny, but for his father and their family, and I'm sure he's got a lot of support there. So I'm high on Sonny Styles.
And you said it
super high on
you
him.
called it earlier. I thought you said it perfect. It's great for the Washington. It's great for Sonny. Dan Quinn, when you go back to, you remember in 2021, why did Michael Parsons go where he did? A lot of people didn't have a clear vision for him, but Dan Quinn had a clear vision.
He could use this guy the same way if he wanted to.
So now he brings in Sonny Styles.
Indeed.
I think you're out.
We're going to go. We're going to get more Sonny later. He's that good. Draft Night Live on Fox Sports Radio. We'll be right back. 1 hour down. More to go.
With this move right here, I've already kind of got it down. With this move right here, Beach is thinking down the road exactly what he did with McDuffie. Even if Delane is good, he's not going to go more than 4 years playing for the Chiefs. So he'll play 4 years. They'll pick up his option. They'll trade him, and they'll pick up more picks. Exactly what they did with the Rams and McDuffie. So they're looking for production from him early on in his career, and then probably going to trade him because they don't pay cornerbacks. Can't see him paying a corner with Mahomes' contract. You want a guy, when you take a guy at 6 or in the top 10, you want him to play for your team for the next 10 years. Realistically, it doesn't happen often. Some of these guys are busts, but I mean, Delane's got to step in right away, day one, and be our number one corner. Think about how many teams each week are going to be picking on this guy. It was going to happen. We're going to have to start a rookie. They got Noel Williams there, third round pick out of Cal. It was a positional need, but I just thought we could address that with our second pick in the first round. I didn't think we needed to reach this high and grab a corner, but Saints pick is in. Got some live music going. Man, I'm so messed up right now after that Delane pick. Never did I expect them to go corner. Jordan Tyson is going to the Saints. I always say this guy's name wrong. Tyler Schruck. Schruck. Got a 28-year-old second-year quarterback. Get him a weapon with the Olave. So the knock on this guy is durability, definitely, but he's got the playmaking ability. Best catch radius in this draft. Like, he made some unbelievable catches at Arizona State. 200 pounds, big, 21 years old. I thought he was taller than that. He's not as tall as I thought he was. A smooth operator with fluid route running skills, Tyson is a sharp and clean out of his breaks, creating separation by avoiding wasted movement and extra steps. He's a long strider who can eat up yardage quickly, causing cushion or racing cushion and putting defenders on their heels. Tyson uses this along with his short area quickness and vision to be a valuable weapon after the catch, turning quick screens into big gains with impressive instincts and the patient to set up blocks. He's got strong, reliable hands that don't mind contact at the catch point, and he's a willing downfield blocker. Tyson tracks the deep ball extremely well down the field, and he can move around the formation to isolate and expose the best matchups with corners on the outside or in the slot. So he is the most dangerous wide receiver in this draft, for sure. I would say Tate is the more sure thing just because of Tyson's durability issues, but it's close. It really is between these guys. And even though Tyson is an inch shorter, I still think the spectacular catch is better than Carnell Tate. I think the red zone's better than Tate as well. So Tyson is a leaner prospect who can struggle to beat stronger, more physical corners and press coverage off the ball. He creates separation with footwork and short bursts, but Tyson lacks the elite top end speed to run away from defensive backs over the top. I kind of question that. I think he does have that speed. Durability can be concerned given the fact that he suffered significant injuries multiple times that have cost him a decent chunk of action in 2 different seasons. That's the knock on him. I think the game speed is really good. Maybe he didn't run well at the combine or at his pro day, but yeah, his speed is not a weakness to me. It is the durability and can he stay on the field for a full NFL season. With this combination of size, separation, ability, and dynamic potential after the catch, Tyson has a skill set that could quickly make him a wide receiver 1 at the next level if he's able to stay healthy, add a little bit of bulk to his frame, develop more consistent technique and physicality against press coverage. Tyson has Pro Bowl upside with the ability to put up big numbers in any NFL offense. So both these wide receivers struggle in press.
Player Spotlight is brought to you by Marriott Convoy, and it is Jordan Tyson out of Arizona State. The numbers he put up this past year,
Yeah, Tate's weakness too, he struggles in press. More physical defensive backs. And that's exactly what Delane is. Delane's 6 foot, 190 pounds. So the Chiefs are seeing these guys, these wide receivers coming out, and their weakness is struggling with press. And that's exactly what Delane excels at. And Delane better be Jalen Ramsey. I mean, take a guy at 6, he better be Sauce Gardner, Jalen Ramsey. Here's the Browns.
The Cleveland Browns select Spencer Quano.
Now I know why they traded out of 6. Somebody was going to grab a corner at 7 or 8. I think the Saints were going to grab Delane. That's exactly what was going to happen. The Saints were going to grab Delane out of LSU, the corner, and the Chiefs jumped up to 6 in front of them. Brown said, hey, we're taking Fano. Bet you they called Veach. Offense or defense? Defense. We're taking offense. Okay. What do you want for 6? Give us a third or a second. Most likely a second. I mean, the Saints were not expecting the Chiefs to jump up and grab that corner. That's the only thing I can think of. Is that the Saints wanted Delane out of LSU, wanted to get a hometown kid, bring him in, be the next Marshawn Lattimore over there. And the Chiefs jumped up in front of him and got a positional knee. I still think it was a little bit of a reach, but trying to be as positive as possible here. I don't think they're going to resign him to a second deal. It's going to be probably plays 4 years in a Chiefs uniform, and then Veach moves him again, try to get more value like McDuffie. But Giants waste no time here. Is this Magayo or is this...
The New York Giants select Francis
Mauigoa. Either the Giants had Fano and Magayo like right on their board, like 1-2, and then saw the Browns take Fano, and then we're like, all right, we're taking Magayo. And he was supposed to go number 3 overall. The reason why I think he slipped is he's better suited for guard in the NFL. And he also played right tackle. He played left tackle at Miami. I don't know what the Giants are going to do with him. They got Andrew Thomas as their left tackle now. I think they lost Evan Neal. Maybe they slide him into guard. Maybe he goes to right tackle. We got a trade. The Dolphins have traded up here. Dallas trades up. Could this be Bane? Is Dallas going to take a chance on Bane, the character guy? With the alligator arms, Bane is slipping. The accident hurt him. He's going to be a top 10 pick. I mean, this guy was top 5 on people's boards. Here's the strengths on Magayo. A stout, reliable presence at right tackle. Magayo routinely makes edge defenders disappear when they line up across from him. His physicality is unmistakable on every snap. He attacks each rep with nastiness that can wear opponents down all 4 quarters. He's got impressive athleticism for his size, matching speed rushers step for step off the edge, climbing to the second level with ease. He shows consistent pad level and balance for taller linemen, constantly driving his feet to reset the line of scrimmage. In the ground game, Magayo is a smart blocker who handles advanced pass rushing moves well, aggressively recovering if beaten by the initial attack. He's a tone setter who can put his man into the dirt. So there's the pancakes. He's got good speed for an offensive lineman, but I just don't think the power's there, especially for the bull rush at that position. I mean, there's a reason why.
You're around him all the time. I mean, yeah, it's usually you brag and go on and on about a left tackle, but here's a right tackle that really just kind of set the tone with his physicality and just his attitude.
I actually think a really raw tackle that could be good is Max Ianocker, 6'6", 330 at Arizona State. This guy could slide into the first round. Very raw. Didn't start playing football until he hit junior college, I want to say. So, I mean, with the right coaches and the right experience, maybe a year of experience, this guy could be... Ooh. So Fano goes to the Browns. He's going to have protect Shedeur Sanders. Smart, get their young quarterback a right tackle. I don't think he's a left tackle in the NFL. I think he's more of a right. Fano's weakness is his play strength. He's a lean offensive tackle. Magayo's more of the bigger frame type of the offensive tackle, and Fano is more the leaner, really good at pass protection. But like I said, his play strength isn't there on run plays. Doesn't get good push on those plays, but yeah, I think there's some really good tackles like Ianocker, Blake Miller. I think Proctor needs work. Lamoe solid as well. I mean, Utah had chance to have 2 first-round offensive tackles go. So the Cowboys on the clock right here. They trade up with the Miami Dolphins. Last year they took Tyler Booker, a guard. Tyler Guyton in 2024, so we know it's not going to be an offensive lineman. They need an edge rusher. Wide receiver, George Pickens. Some drama going on with him. Need a linebacker. Sonny Styles didn't fall into their lap like they wanted. Need a corner as well. Could this be Jamad McCoy? Do they take a chance on him? He tore his ACL. Be a big risk right there. If Cowboys need a guy who can help them right now, it's got to be edge rusher. It's got to be Bain. It's got to be why they traded up. They're taking Bain. He played so well in the college football playoff, though. He didn't have a great regular season in 2025. It was just in those big games he stepped up. 15 and a half tackles for loss for 75 yards of lost yards on the other team. 9.5 sacks, but coming into the college football playoff, he only had like 4. I mean, he doubled his numbers in the big games. 5 quarterback hits, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. You're not going to see him back down balls at the line of scrimmage. That's not his game. He blows up pockets. Like when the quarterback has to get out of the pocket, that's when he's going to get his sacks. Because you're going to either have to hold him, because he's going to get off that block with that right tackle or left tackle. But, you know, he's not a guy that's going to get around the edge. I think he's more going to use that bull rush to his advantage. And then when the quarterback makes a move to get out of the pocket, that's where you're going to see his sacks come. But a lot of guys had short arms in the NFL and dominated. Dwight Freeney, it's got to be Bane.
Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs, defensive back, Ohio State.
Bane continues to slip. It's not a bad pick by the Cowboys. It really isn't. He's gonna be a generational safety. Safety isn't a position a lot of teams value, but he's a quarterback of the defense. So he's going to be exactly what Dak Prescott does on offense. Downs is going to do on defense. Good character guy as well. You can't go wrong with this guy. And their pass defense was terrible as well. I didn't think they would go with the Jermod McCoy. But this guy can play the run. He can also come down in the box. He's not just one of those safeties that is back there in coverage. Do a lot with a Caleb Downs. And he's the number 1 safety by far. I mean, Thielman probably my number 2, but the distance between Downs and Thielman, if there's any issue with Downs, it's this little injury that he has coming out, but the Cowboys must not have. Cowboys actually jumped up 1 spot to grab him in front of the Dolphins. So Dolphins were going to grab Caleb Downs, but Cowboys made him an offer they couldn't refuse. What can't this guy do? Downs is a jack of all trades who just has about mastered all of them with the ability to make big plays at every level of the field. His intelligence and instincts paired with impressive athleticism allows Downs to line up as a deep safety in the middle of the field and then suddenly appear in the backfield to stuff the run. He has the ball skills to create takeaways when he's 1 step ahead of the play, sort of like Ed Reed did. 6 foot 205, 21 years old. He can stay in the center. He can stay in center field, lock up in man-to-man, or mix it up in the box. Wow. There's a lot of versatility. The Dallas Cowboys just got at 11 there. Downs is a natural playmaker with the ball in his hands too, and he can make a big impact in the return game when called upon. So he's actually a punt returner as well. Wow. Downs is one of the best, most complete prospects in this entire draft class. He's the perfect safety for the modern NFL defenses, which thrive on the ability to complex pictures to quarterbacks and then flip the script after the snap. His polished, well-rounded skill set, smarts, and the playmaking ability should allow him to make a big impact right away, no matter the team or scheme. And that's right about where a lot of mock drafts had him. A lot of them had him going right at 9 or 10 or 8, 9, or 10 in that range. Cowboys went up and got their guy. And Ruben Bain continues to slip. You got Bain, Proctor as the best available. Humongous offensive tackle. You got Leone, best guard in this draft. Another position that isn't really valued much early on in the first round, but the Cowboys are just ecstatic. Look at Jerry Jones.
Tackle, Alabama.
And they had to. It wasn't going to be Lamu. Now he's raw. You talk about Lawrence. Lawrence had some weight issues at 350. Proctor did as well. He looks good there, though. Looks a lot. Yeah. He definitely came in leaned up.
I do have a nickname, and that is Crispy.
That's why he went so high. A lot of guys had him going at the back end of the first round, and the weight was the issue. But he leaned up. He put the work in. Took away the Krispy Kremes. Man, that's something I can't do. I wish I could do that. The sky's the limit for this guy. He could potentially be the best tackle in this draft. But he also can play guard too. A lot of these guys are better suited for guard. That's why I like Ianocker so much, because he can play tackle. Blake Miller as well. It looks like a deep draft for offensive tackles on paper, but it's really not. Just going back to that Delane pick, he played in a ton of games too. 4 years at LSU, 44 games, 191 tackles, 4 forced fumbles, 27 pass breakups, 11 last year, 2 picks. He's not much of a ball hawk that they're saying he is. I don't think the ball hawks, but McDuffie wasn't either. Surprising right there, the Dolphins would go with that offensive tackle. They just got a defensive coach from the Packers. Forget his name, but maybe they're just going best available right now instead of positional need. So offensive lineman was second on the positional need for the Dolphins. Cornerback was number 1. Could have been another team trying to get Delane. But the drop off on corners in this draft. Now, I was looking at it, and I got to give Veach some credit here, something I didn't see coming in. There's a huge drop-off from Delane to McCoy here because of McCoy's injury and his ACL tear. You don't know what you're going to get from Jamad McCoy, and Colton Hood was Tennessee's number 1 corner last year. You got Terrell, he's a little undersized. His brother played in the NFL. Cisse, a really good man coverage. That's the guy I thought they would go after. Chris Johnson, the bigger size corner, who a lot of people told me that was the pick instead of Cisse, but so the Chiefs just thought the drop off in cornerback was just too much. He thought Delane was the number 1 corner and couldn't go with another guy going into next season. Had to. Yeah, we got to think, you're going up against Bo Nix, Herbert. Delane's going to get a lot of work, though, in his rookie season. These guys are going to pick on him. I know Herbert's going to test him. With McConkley, I know Cortland Sutton's going to test him. Bo Nix. Jalen Waddle over there as well, so. trying to be positive about it. They didn't get Bain. The real big need for me was getting to the quarterback. And they just must not. Something about Bain scared them. I don't think the arm length scared them about Ruben Bain. I really don't. I think it was more so that accident that freaked him out. This guy's got a. Somebody passed away in a car accident. It was just unfortunate that it happened, but from what I read about it, he was speeding, but no alcohol was given. Whole thing seems kind of shady to me. The family of the victim says they want to move on. It's something the Chiefs thought enough of to stay away from. That is something I always remember. Should they have taken Bain? They went with the cornerback zone. I had the nickname all set up and everything, Hurricane Bain. There was a story of the hurricane. I had it all set up, man. Had the whole video set up. Called that one at 13. People called me an idiot for that. One of my mock drafts, I had Simpson going 13. Must have thought the Steelers were going to grab him. So 2 quarterbacks go in the top 15. Simpson slipped after that college football performance where he looked terrible. I forget the team he played. Was it Indiana? It was Indiana. So what I like about Simpson when I saw on tape is he goes through his progressions better than Mendoza actually. Like he'll actually look at the whole field, but he's just a tad late making the decisions. He holds on to the ball way too long, takes sacks, can make plays out of the pocket, but there's a lot of stuff to work on from him. He's going to need a year. I think in this Rams offense with McVay, he's going to get better. Under Matthew Stafford, he's going to coach him. We don't know if this is going to be Stafford's last year or not, but Simpson was the best second reaction passer. And what I mean by that, if that first read wasn't there, that second read, he was right on it. Mendoza, with that offense and Cignetti, a lot of the offense was set up pre-snap. Simpson ran more of a pro style, I would say, even though I think Mendoza can pick that up. But as far as second reaction ability when the play falls apart, Simpson is mature beyond his experience with a sense of how and when to align his body to target even after defenses disrupt him. He can take that right to the bank at the next level on throws outside the pocket. This past season, Simpson completed 47 of 89 passes for 454 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the passer rating of 88.9. Those outside the pocket throws are about equally distributed between designed bootlegs and plays in which Simpson had to create. And it all points to an impressive sense of how to fix things on the fly when they no longer make sense. So yeah, that's what he does better than Mendoza on tape. But I think Mendoza can get there eventually with Kubiak's offense and the right quarterback coach. But Simpson, goes through his progressions a little bit better at this time. He's not as mobile as Mendoza. Doesn't have the the arm of a Mendoza, I would say. Even though out of the pocket, he still can make a lot of plays downfield. But yeah, a lot of mock drafts early on had Simpson a top 10 pick. And then after that college football performance, the playoff performance, where he struggled, I think he went out of that game as well with an injury. But he fell in on a lot of boards to the back end of the first round, and a lot of people had teams trading into that first round to grab him, or possibly the Steelers picking him in the first round. But Ty Simpson, he's a first round pick out of Alabama. Um, Check out some more information on him. Goes through a really good situation too. A poised passer in the pocket, Simpson provided multiple examples in 2025 of the ability to make the right throws to all levels of the field. Shows impressive ball placement, even on the run. He can move throughout his reads with check down, with dropping his eyes to the rush prematurely, and he isn't afraid to check down and let his teammates pick up the yards after the catch instead of waiting too long for deeper routes and bigger plays to develop. Simpson can put adequate zip on the ball when forced to make challenging throws to outside hashes on a deep of the field, and he shows a solid understanding of schemes and leverage that allows him to throw guys open instead of leading them into coverage or forcing contested catches situations that weren't necessary. Yeah, I mean, this is completely right of how he goes through his progressions, and that is the best thing about Simpson, and he's only going to get better with McVay and Stafford. And now the Ravens, a pick that a lot of people called at 14. They needed guard help. They lost Linderbaum, a big piece of the middle interior of this offensive line. And now they get Leon. Alia Vega, a Leon out of Penn State, the guard. Best guard in this draft. This was one of the easiest picks in the first round at 14. I believe I had Leon going 14 right here. Maybe I switched it right at the last second, but in my Ravens mock draft, I believe I had him taking Leon. Definitely the best pure guard in this draft. 6'4", 336, 21 years old. An absolute tank of a blocker. Leon is a powerful built, and he knows how to use that strength to pulverize opposing defenders to the point of attack. He instantly absorbs power rushes from the inside, sealing little ground, ceding little ground and keeping his quarterback clean. Leon is devastating in the run game, driving his opponent off the ball consistently with his power-packed frame and constant leg drive. Leon is a smart, instinctive player who reads stunts, twists effectively, passing off and picking up rushers without getting lost in the chaos. His snap-to-whistle effort is a trait every NFL offensive line will love, and he brings valuable leadership and intangible qualities to the table. So he's definitely going to be a leader of this offensive line. Doesn't make mistakes. Good character guy. Jesse Minter values the offensive line here, protecting Lamar Jackson, who, his time in Baltimore could be running out with this new regime. Could they move on from him? The weaknesses, there is some technical improvement that needs to happen for Leon, starting with his off-the-ball pad level, his inconsistent time coming off the snap when it comes to keeping his pads low, giving up leverage too often by popping up high out of his stance. He also needs to refine his hand usage, becoming more precise with his punches to lock up on and control defenders earlier in the rep. He's more of a powerful He's more of a power player than finesse, and quicker interior defenders can beat him off the snap and get a step ahead of him into that backfield. It's perfect though for the Ravens in that power run that they like to do with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And usually you'll see Lamar Jackson just take the snap and do a quarterback run with it, and Leon could be that lead blocker right in front of him. So it's a smart pick for them. A lot of people had them taking this guy to the Ravens at 14. It was just their biggest positional need was interior offensive lineman, and Leon was going to fall right to him. So they back off the Max Crosby trade, end up sending Crosby back to the Raiders, and use that pick to get Leon. Okay, so they got Hendrickson. That was a position need. Then they went offensive lineman with their draft pick. Okay, so they got Hendrickson. They scratched that one. That was number 1. Then they got the offensive lineman with the draft pick, Leon. You got Ronnie Stanley turning 32, and he's been banged up. And both guard spots could use upgrades, and they did that with this draft pick. Last year the Ravens went 8-9, but they were injured so much early on in the season. I thought they played well down the stretch. They actually had a chance to make the playoffs. They lost Linderbaum. That's going to hurt them bad. Nate Wiggins, Malachi Stark, Zay Flowers, he's pretty solid. Kyle Hamilton fell right to him. They actually got him at 14. Lamar Jackson went last pick in the first round. It wasn't even their first round pick that year. Hayden Hurst went 25, then Jackson went 32. Here's the Buccaneers pick. It's in right now. Commissioner to the podium.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ruben Bain Jr., linebacker.
Staying home in Florida. He slipped all the way to 15 because of the character issues, but he's staying home. Ruben Bain Jr., the knock on him is the alligator arms, but a complete package of explosiveness and power. Bain can beat you any way he wants as a pass rusher. His first step quickness off the ball is startling, and he packs a ton of power that could put opposing blockers on skates. That's his bull rush move. He's got strong, violent hands that allow him to control the point of attack and prevent offensive linemen from keeping him locked on the ground game. And he uses devastating chop and rip moves to get himself free on the way to the quarterback. That's really not in the pocket. I would say it's more when the quarterback gets out of the pocket and the offensive lineman can't hold on to him anymore. That's how he gets free. He's got a strong lower body that provides a reliable anchor against the run, and his nonstop effort allows him to chase down plays from anywhere on the field. Bain has a knack for making clutch plays in critical moments when the defense needs him the most. And he's a smart defender who doesn't find himself out of position often. For me, the only thing I would say is I agree with he steps up in big moments, but he also gets bored at times. Like early on in games, he's taking plays off. if it's a run play, if it's a passing play. He's always got a high motor, but sometimes on those running plays, he'll take it off. The question is his ideal length, which can present challenges against NFL tackles with longer wingspans. He can be a devastating run defender when flying downhill to the ball, but shifty running backs can make stress on his tackling technique in space if they have even a small window to shake him before he shows up. Tough, yeah, he wins often with pure physical prowess on the initial move. Bain would benefit from developing a wider range of effective counters as a pass rusher. It really, what he uses is he's just so much stronger than tackles in college. Wasn't really a lot of pass rush moves. But yeah, he just got a lot of power. And I think with the arms, teams aren't afraid of the arms as much. It's more so the character. And that's why you saw a team like Tampa Bay take a chance on him, because he's basically staying home here. He went to Miami, now he's going to play in Tampa. I don't know the distance. What is that, a couple hours away? We got 9.5 sacks last year in 2025. 5 quarterback hits, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. 15.5 tackles for loss. So we're going to see, did the Chiefs make a good decision here? Bain ended up slipping to 15. Guaranteed somebody was taking Delane. So they made the right move. They didn't take a chance on Bain at 9. You look, Bain slips all the way to 15 to Tampa Bay. And it's too good to pass up. He stays home. Good player. Good players see what happens in his career. I wouldn't have minded the Chiefs getting that guy, even with the accident. My number 1 guy was Bailey. Bain was number 2. And then I had the plan B of Tyson. Tyson or Tate. Wasn't thinking corner. Just because this team is so good at developing corners. Here we go, Jets on the board, on the clock.
The New York Jets select Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon.
This guy is something else. Like he's a bigger type of wide receiver, but he could play on the line of scrimmage too. Not a huge tight end though. 6'3". Oregon went to him a lot last year, especially in the middle of the field. Look at him on a wheel route right there. He's fast. Jumps over a guy. Look at the athleticism. I don't think he's going to be like a Brock Bowers or anything like that, but he'll be a weapon. He'll be a guy like you don't want running down a seam. Eight touchdown receptions. He's good in the red zone as well. They had to get him. Carolina was going to grab him at 19. So Sadiq by far best tight end in this draft, and then the number two, there's a big fall off, and it's questionable because you had Eli Stowers, the second best guy. On here it says Michael Trigg, he's really good too. Joe Royer out of Cincinnati, Oscar Delp, Max Clare, who's a really good blocking tight end, and Jack Indris, Daquan Wright, Jolly. It's kind of like corner here at this position in the draft. Sadiq is just so much better than all these guys. And there's not a lot of weaknesses to his game. Sadiq could use improvements to his technique if he wants to be an effective as an inline blocker in the run game, especially with a frame that could already pose some challenges in the trenches against NFL edge defenders. Yeah, that's the only thing he's got to work on is that size. It's more of like a leaner type of a frame. He is 245, but could he get pushed around by those defensive ends? When he split out wide, more physical defenders at the next level could challenge his ability to get clean releases off the line of scrimmage. His production reached a new high in 2025, but he still wasn't the featured option in the passing game that you might expect from a potential top 20 pick. Now, I believe he was. He was featured a lot, especially on third down. 51 receptions last year, 560 yards, 8 touchdowns. When a lot of teams were doubling him in the red zone. His sophomore year, 24 catches. Look at how much the production increased. 51 in 14 games in 2025. So they did ask him to do a lot in that offense. Remember, Oregon does a lot of pre-snap things already. They get everybody the ball on offense. Sadiq was a matchup nightmare last year in college. He is going to face some bigger defenders at the next level, but he's going to use his speed to get around them. He's still going to be a weapon for the Jets, but they're still searching for a quarterback at this point in time. Who knew? Maybe they thought Simpson was going to fall to them at pick number 16. They grabbed Sadiq. Like I said, the next guy to him is Michael Trigg, who's pretty solid too. But the drop off is pretty big. Trigg is 23, Sadiq's 21, Royer's 24, Delp's 22, Stowers 22, Claire's 22. So Sadiq's the youngest, and he's the best tight end. The strength is the athleticism, right? Getting him matched up against the smaller guys. You're gonna have to get him off the field on the run situations. I don't think he's gonna be an elite run blocker at all in his career, but maybe later on in his career he gets better at it. But early on, he's gonna be a threat on third down, third and long, first down. I believe the Jets got 2 really good tight ends right now. He's a tough target over the middle who isn't afraid of contact at the catch point. And his combination of body control and athletic ability allows him to contort his body and still come down with challenging receptions. Sadiq is a smart player who understands what defenses are trying to do, and his strong hands give the quarterback a reliable target against any coverage. He's willing to get his hands dirty in the run game too, using his physicality to hold his own as a blocker. Yeah, I think the weakness is his blocking and getting up against bigger corners in the press coverage. getting releases against that. But once he gets going, and once he catches the ball, he's going to be tough to tackle. Yards after catch are going to be good. You're going to have to really stop him at the line of scrimmage. So they're saying it here. Sadiq could have easily put up bigger numbers if he wasn't at Oregon, because that offense goes to everyone. So Blake Miller goes to the Lions. Wow, I thought they would go with Freeling. Wow, that was the option for the Chiefs at 29. I was hoping maybe a Blake Miller. And he goes to the Lions. This guy's a solid tackle, right tackle. That's what they needed. It was either going to be Freeling or Miller. Proctor, Fano, and Magayo off the board. Freeling and Lemo still on the board. Miller, 6th rated tackle in this. A lot of them I saw was he was the 5th rated tackle, 6th rated tackle. I mean, they had Freeling, Proctor, Lemo, Magayo, and they had Fano rated higher than Miller. But a 4-year starter at right tackle, Miller has all the polish you'd expect from a prospect with that much starting experience against top competition. So for the Lions, they needed him to come in right now and start day one. Here we go, Vikings. So they got Caleb Banks. The Vikings get Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle from forward. A little high for me. Saw him in a lot of mock drafts, late first round, early second. And I thought they might go safety here at this pick. I thought they might go Dylan Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon right here. Instead, they go with Caleb Banks. Wasn't a lot of run-stuffing defensive tackle talent in this draft. And maybe the Vikings just said, hey, we're not going to get him in the second round. He's going to be an early pick. 6'6", 327, but he's a stuffer. He does. So Miller can deliver punches that force opposing rushers to reevaluate the rush plan, and he's got smooth feet that mirror well in pass protection. There are glimpses of a feisty finishing ability in the run game throughout his film, and his experience shines through his ability to process stunts and twists and adjust his approach on the fly. It's a good player they got. Ionacker is still out there. Lemieux is still out there as well. You got Freeling. Chiefs need a right tackle. Jennings Dunker is off the board. They say he's more of a guard, though. And here they had his grade in the second round, and now they say he's an instant starter at right tackle. Would have been a guy I would have loved to have. He would have completed the offensive line in protecting Patrick Mahomes. Because I just don't think you can go into this season with Jalen Moore as that right tackle. Maybe you can early on, but eventually you're going to have to make the switch. You got Lemieux on the board, 6'6", 300 pounds. Freeling, 6'7", 315. Then you got Ionacker, probably moves better than any of these guys. 330, 22 years old. This guy never played a snap of high school football. Can you believe that? And he might be a first-round pick. Someone might take a chance on him. All right, we're about halfway through this thing. I'm going to take like a quick break. Throw the radio on, but For the Chiefs at 29, I would say got to get that offensive tackle. I guess the next pick, offensive tackle, defensive end. See who's out there for defensive ends. Keldrick Falk, 6'6", 285. I don't really think he fits us well. Cassius Howell, another short-armed defensive end. Mesidor's still out there. He's 24 years old, though. I think he's the best. He's one of the best ones. He's just an older type of a player. Zion Young, solid as well. TJ Parker is good.
Ready to hit the
Malachi Lawrence.
and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited.
And if Freeling or Mamu or
Prohibited by law.
one of
21
these
plus.
guys
Terms and
ends up
conditions
slipping
apply.
more.
Grab the key to a new Toyota truck and get out there. Get low 2.99% APR plus 500 finance cash on Tacoma SR5.
You got
Or get
Lamu,
3,000 cash back
Freeling,
on Tundra.
Iron.
Toyota, let's go places. Quick
So there's
banner. Visit
3 good
Toyota.com for
tackles
details.
left.
Said it happened in the hallway
3 good
of a public high
tackles
school.
left.
How do you know how to hunt those girls down? Like, you know the ones to target.
Another behind the closed door of a middle school office.
And he would tell me that he was going to adopt me out of foster care.
Here goes the Panthers pick right now. It's got to be a weapon, right? For
19th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft.
got McMillan last year,
Carolina Panthers select Monroe Freeling,
offensive tackle.
Georgia.
One of the 3 offensive tackles that I wanted. 6'7", 315, 21 years old at Georgia. A fast rising prospect after an impressive 2025 campaign. He really jolted up the charts. I don't think people expected him to come out. They thought he would stay, but Freeland possesses size, athleticism that give him a ton of upside with some technical tweaks that could quickly turn him into a quality starter at the next level. For teams with offensive schemes that prioritize the movement skills he brings to the table, Freeling could become a Pro Bowl after he adds some strength and polish. Yeah, more of a leaner offensive tackle. They had him going 2nd round here. They're calling for him to add some bulk to his frame. 6'7", 315, 21 years old. Whoa, Cowboys and Eagles made a trade. Eagles get the 20th overall pick and a 2027 7th. Cowboys get the 23rd overall pick and 2 2026 4th round picks. Eagles jumping up here. Oh, that's a big pick right here. Would this be an offensive lineman?
2026 NFL Draft. The Philadelphia Eagles select Makai Lemon, wide receiver.
Ooh, this is for that A.J. Brown trade. They are trading A.J. Brown. They're moving on from A.J. Brown, guys. He is gone. Lemon is now in Philly. This guy's made for Philly, right? Doesn't say a whole lot. More is less with this guy. Not the outside wide receiver A.J. Brown is, but he's a slot guy. Make big plays. Get you easy first downs. Good pick right here. I thought Wumbo thought they might go offensive lineman when I talked to him. I was thinking, man, they might trade up and try to grab Sadiq. Maybe they like Sadiq. But they end up getting the 2nd or 3rd best wide receiver in this draft. Howie Roseman goes best available, right? Lemon, there was talk about him going top 15. And the Eagles go up and trade up and get this guy.
He makes a lot of contested catches for a guy that does.
If you want to call this guy undersized, do so at your own risk. Limon might be under 6 feet tall and less than 200 pounds, but he plays with tenacity and physicality you expect from a much bigger wide receiver. He's a sharp route runner who challenges opposing defensive backs with the precision of his breaks, and he's got the hands, body control, and leaping ability to consistently win 50-50 balls despite his size disadvantage. It's kind of like what Tyreek Hill used to do. Go up and get it over a couple DBs, and he's like 5'10". He's a big play machine, whether he's stretching the field vertically or exploding away from the would-be tacklers after the catch, routinely breaking through arm tackles and surprising defenders with his ability to play through contact. His football IQ and playmaking instincts allow him to set up blocks and expose blind spots in coverage, and his impressive bend to physical and mental traits make him a dangerous return man. Not only that, as Philly picked up a good special teams guy too. Not much of a blocker. He's got he's got short arms, and they're saying sometimes he tends to drop the football. But last year, he had 1,000 yards. Tyson or Tate didn't have 1,000. This guy's got 79 catches, 1,156 yards, 11 touchdowns. And he had 2 touchdowns rushing as well. Wow. I think Tyson's going to be the best wide receiver in this draft, but there's a chance Limon could be that guy. I mean, 5'11", 195. .6'3", 195 Tate. You got 6'2" for Tyson. So really, they're saying that Limon plays bigger than the 5'11". He's 5'11" on paper, but he plays like he's 6'4". This guy's almost got like Tyreek Hill vibes to me. If you think a smaller wide receiver can't be a true number one target, Limon is the kind of prospect who could change your mind. He's got the explosiveness, hands, and route running chops to threaten opposing defenses at every level, and his high effort style of play is what coaches and teammates want in their huddle. His big playability should welcome in any NFL offense, but he would be particularly dangerous if paired with a traditional X wide receiver who would be a Smith, who would yield plenty of one-on-one opportunities on that opposite side. The Eagles have the number one guy in Smith. It's perfect for him. It's a good pick. Steelers pick is in. Not going to be a quarterback.
Deal the guy at June 1st. That's like so late in the game. You know, so much has happened and is solidified by June 1st. It's almost like, man, don't do it now. Like let's run it back and see what we can do. But bringing in Lemon, I call him the giant killer. You know, he doesn't drop balls. I think he has 3 drop balls over the last 2 seasons. He makes big plays. He shows up when they need him, and he plays with that same type of spirit that an Amon Ra St. Brown played with when he was there. So maybe it's the standard that has been set by him, that the example that was set. He plays in that same type of mold. Like he has a chip on his shoulder. He plays aggressive, and he wants it. You know, it's not. You know, there's the diva-ish side of receivers, but then there's the go-getter side of receivers. And this receiver has more of that go-getter side of it, that dog that bite side of it. So I like this pick for them. His personality 100% fits into that Philadelphia style of play and that culture that exists there. So yeah, I like this one for Philly.
Yeah, and again, Philadelphia Eagles originally were like hoping to move up for an offensive lineman. I told you that there's, you know, if there's going to be a run, I don't think they thought that Makai Lemon would be sitting there. Now again, I told you Pittsburgh Steelers all along. I knew they were looking at offensive line, but man, what a great value pick there was for considering Philadelphia originally thinking they were going to have to trade all the way up to get one of those top offensive linemen. Could just sit there, move a little, I should say, and get a guy like Makai Lemon. That's and by the way, if the Rams did not go Ty Simpson, that's Lemon was the guy that they were going to
interesting.
go with. So they were thinking about him all the way
How
to
does
13.
Omar Cooper compare in your estimations to?
I didn't have anybody who had Cooper above him. It was the 3 receivers that have already been off the board. Yeah. And then Cooper was kind of mixed in, and Terry, you can talk about this, mixed in with a couple of the other receivers on that second wave.
It's a good question, though, because he's the other slot. Like when you categorize these players for what they are, Omar Cooper's the other one that this is the prototype slot. But with Cooper, I feel like he needs to be in the slot. Like he may not be as effective outside. Where Lemon, you can put him anywhere on the field and he can still be a good player. Mm-hmm. You know, like sometimes you look at guys because like Steve Smith, sometimes people would say he's a slot, but that dude, you put him anywhere on the field. And I think Lemon's more like that. Right. But I think Cooper needs to be in the slot, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Because he makes plays.
Yes.
I saw him do it against us in state college.
Yeah, and he's kind of built like he's built like Debo somewhat, right?
Together.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Really put together, and I know they really like him over there also with Indiana. But yeah, again, he was kind of in that second wave
of
receivers.
We wait on the Steelers next with that 21st pick. And speaking of players going pro, Draft Night Live on Fox Sports Radio is presented by Express Pros. Facing production swings or a tough skills gap, Workforce Solutions from Express Employment Professionals make hiring easier. Find your local office and see how Express can help you hire smarter and faster. Visit expresspros.com today.
So I believe a cool little side note while they're announcing the pick. Pick number 57 for this year's draft gets, I guess, lifetime supply of ketchup. Of Heinz ketchup. The Heinz 57 ketchup. So just a cool little deal. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. And I guess Devin Hester was a number 57th pick. So he's like kind of helping the whole thing. But as thought, the Steelers go with a tackle and build it through the line of scrimmage. That's Steel Town. Line of scrimmage or D-line of scrimmage, right? That's what they said.
And the Steelers pick is in.
With the select Max Iannaccio, offensive tackle, Arizona State, 6'6", 321 pounds.
Well, we got our first viral moment.
and this is an interesting guy because, you know, he's a guy that doesn't obviously have a lot of football. Yeah. Played basketball a lot. I asked, is he more like a basketball player? More like a football player? He said, no, he's more like a football player. Has that mentality, but he is so raw, right? But he is, man, he's put together. I'm 6'6", 321. He is shredded for that. And without a doubt, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need some help on that offensive line. But again, it's that, now you're down to like the last couple, so they had to go. They wanted offensive line there. You're looking at him. You're looking at like Lomu from Utah, the other tackle over there. There's not a lot, left down there. So
that's really it. I would say those two are the guys that you're like, they're definitely going the first. But this is a cool one right here. He's only played football for 5 years for 5 years.
Wow.
He's in JUCO playing basketball. Grew up playing soccer and basketball. JUCO playing basketball, and all of a sudden they see this big athletic guy. He's 6'6", 321, ran a 4.9 at the combine. So he's extremely athletic, and they say, let's put this guy on the football field and see what he can do. And he is extreme. You see the soccer player in him because his feet are so quick. He's so athletic.
Yeah, he's got good feet.
He can open up and run, so he can do so many good things. Now, is he a day one starter right away? There's some things he's got to develop, but the upside, yes, the upside is so tremendous. He's got more upside than a number of the linemen that went ahead of him. It's going to take him more time to develop, but once he gets it and figures it out, right, if he's playing too early, they're going to attack him with some counters and some power and do some line movements. But once he gets going, man, he's going to be a really good player.
It's interesting talking about the amount of time that he's played. Some guys at some positions, it's okay. It's you can transition out and you can make it work for you, but certain positions, you sniff it out. You sniff out the fact that they haven't been playing this game for long enough. And I look at you and I see that you're big. I see that you got good feet, and they say you played basketball and all that good stuff. You're on the line.
Right.
You're on this line.
Right.
The trenches, that line that they call the Serengeti, where you either hunt or you're hunted. I think he's raw. I think he has all the tools to be a really, really good football player, but he's going to have to get up to speed very quickly.
Oh, Mesidor went, damn. Mesidor went 22.
The Pouncey times, the Faneca times.
So Mesidor goes 22. Dallas on the clock right now. I forget who Dallas took with their first pick already. So just a little recap. Mendoza goes to the Raiders. Jets grab Bailey. Cardinals grab Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. Titans grab Carnell Tate. Arvo Reese goes number 5 to the Giants. Linebacker out of Ohio State. Chiefs trade up to 6 and get Mansour Delane, quarterback out of LSU. I still don't know what that trade is. Sonny Styles goes 7 to the Redskins, linebacker out of Ohio State. Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State, goes to the Saints at 8. Spencer Fano goes to the Browns, offensive tackle from Utah at 9. Magayu goes 10 to the Giants from Miami, offensive tackle. Then Cowboys grab Downs. So got him right before. So somebody grabbed Mesidor right before the Cowboys could, because they need some pass rush help. Let's see who the Cowboys could be taking here at pass rusher. Now Falk's still on the board too. I don't think they'll take Cassius Howell. Parker's still on the board. Malachi Lawrence. I think this might be Keldrick Falk. Banks goes 18. Monroe Freeland goes 19 to the Panthers. Eagles grab Lamone, wide receiver from USC. Enocher went to the Steelers. Wow. Incredible, man. Mesidor goes to the Chargers. Oh, no, man. We got to deal with Mesidor. Fuck. And they got him right before the Cowboys did. I knew Enocher was going to go. He was just too raw of a talent. He might be the best one out of this draft. Lamo is still on the board, though. Andy Reid has ties to Utah. go wide receiver there, get a weapon for Mahomes. Rashee Rice isn't going to be there next year. Maybe they go wide receiver. Maybe they trade out and get that value back that they lost trading up to 6. Man, that sucks, man. Enocher's off the board. Proctor, Freeling, Miller. The only one left is Lemieux. Then you start getting down here. You got Isaiah World. Pretty good. Caleb Turnin. Really think the only one solid one that we could start at right tackle would be Lemieux. You can go offensive tackle at 29, wide receiver. Some guys still on the board here. Some good wide receiver talent. Boston, Concepcion, KC. That'd be a great one to pick for us, right? KC, Concepcion. We got a lot of burners, though. He's a burner type. I like Omar Cooper Jr. Here we go. Cowboys pick is in. Keldrick Falk. Another big pick right there. I mean, Lawrence wasn't even rated coming into this draft. I mean, it's another eye knocker. Cowboys go for the pass rush talent. It's another guy that I wanted possibly in the second round. It's a good pick. The Cowboys see the talent in him. I mean, in this rating right here, he's rated 14th in defensive tackle. 6'4", 260, 23 years old. A little bit of an older defensive end here, but 7 sacks his senior year. 11 tackles for loss. 2 forced fumbles. 3 pass breakups. But all the physical and mental tools are there for Lawrence to develop into a high-impact player at the pro level, especially on passing downs. He'll need to become more of a refined and consistent as a run defender if he wants to make the kind of impact on early downs. But even as a rotational or situational pass rusher, Lawrence can make a massive impact at the next level. Wow. So really just a run, or just a pass rusher right now, but he can develop. That's a steal right there. Took a chance on him. They got the pass rush help. They got the safety help. Cowboys fixed their defense. I mean, the Cowboys passed up on T.J. Parker, R. Mason Thomas, Zion Young, L.T. Overton, Joshua Josephs, Romello Height, Danny Dennis Sutton, and number 14 they took Malachi Lawrence, who was jumping up the boards, by the way. I mean, saw a lot of mock drafts where they had him as a first-round pick. So the Browns are on the board right now. Could this be a weapon? A lot of wide receivers on the board for Shedeur Sanders. See who they could possibly get with this wide receiver. We're in Omar Cooper Jr. range. It should be another tough pick right here. Another one of the Chiefs' picks. Do they get a bigger guy? Denzel Boston, 6'4", 210. Concepcion, or do they go with a littler guy? 5'11", 190, 121 years old. Zachariah Branch is slipping. He just had an incident off the field. He got arrested, I want to say. You got Chris Bell from Louisville. 220, 21 years old, 6'2". Chris Brazil out of Tennessee, Jacoby Lane out of USC. My two guys aren't even in this. Well, they are. Omar Cooper Jr. and Malachi Fields. Like those two guys. I wouldn't mind getting this KC guy too. They don't use the bigger wide receivers. I feel like the Chiefs wide receivers are all like 6'1", 6'2". Yeah, I feel like Chris Bell be right around where they're looking. Chris Bell, Omar Cooper Jr., Malachi Fields might be too big for him.
It actually first occurred in January of 2025 when he tore his ACL. It's given teams some significant caution, at least to this point of the draft. He spent one season on the field for Tennessee. Looked like a top 10 player in the 2024 season.
Jamad McCoy slipping because of that ACL. Number 2 rated cornerback. So the cornerback dip was pretty significant from number 2. Chiefs got the best corner in the draft. I did not like the pick when it first happened, but I'm starting to like it now. Just seeing that teams are passing up on all these corners. Yeah, McCoy. He was actually supposed to be the best corner coming out of this draft. But teams just were afraid of that ACL. Colton Hood was the guy who stepped in for him, was the number 1 corner for Tennessee. I've seen a lot of second rounds for him. Avion Terrell, his brother plays for the Falcons. They got a second round grade on him. You got Cisse. McCoy's only played 2 years of college. Probably should have stayed in one more year. Decided to come out 20 years old, coming off that ACL. D'Angelo Pons, that's going to be a really good player, whoever gets him. So far, teams are willing to risk their first round picks on raw talent. Max Iannocker goes to the Steelers, and then you had Malachi Lawrence go to the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, KC goes to the Bears. The Bears trade up. KC Concepcion. That's too bad. We couldn't get a KC. Well, they're moving anyways to Kansas, so. Omar Cooper Jr. still on the board. I'd be a big-time weapon for Mahomes on those back shoulders. Him getting one-on-one on the outside. We finally got an outside wide receiver. We just got a last out Buffalo who needs a wide receiver. Gosh, man, they need one. San Francisco needs a wide receiver. Shit. He's probably not getting past these next 2 picks. especially now that the Bears jumped up and got Concepcion. You got Buffalo and SF, wide receiver number 1 for Buffalo. But they need a bigger type of a wide receiver. They need a 6'4" dude. This has got to be that Brazil guy, I'd say. No, the Bears are picking right now, actually. So Denzel Boston is the next wide receiver out of Washington, the 6'4", 210. Then you got Brazil, he's 6'5". So I say the Bills are going after Brazil or Boston. Got to worry about San Francisco grabbing Cooper. Pretty fast first round. 2 hours, 18 minutes. Wow. Usually these things go like 4 hours, but it's been pretty quick. I think who the Bears need. Okay, the Bears need an edge rusher, defensive lineman, safety. Maybe they go Thielman here. Take a safety. Kevin Byard and Jaquan Brisker are both headed for free agency. It's unlikely the Bears will retain both of them. Even if they lose one of them, they still need to find a strong starting caliber replacement. Byard led the NFL in interceptions in 2025, and they'll need that kind of ball hawk if they lose him. Last year took Colston Loveland, Caleb Williams in 2024, and Rome Adunze, Darnell Wright in 2023, Justin Fields in 2021. Yeah, this is defense for sure. It's either going to be safety, edge rusher, defensive tackle. We got a Keldrick Falk available. Cassius Howell.
With the 25th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Dylan Thiedemann.
Safety out of Oregon. They lost those two safeties, and that's what did it, that Brisker and Byard thing. Really good pick. I would have been happy if the Chiefs got that guy. Losing Brian Cook. But yeah, Thielman, really good free safety. Could really roam the back end of your defense. He's got really good speed, good recovery speed. can create turnovers too. And he wasn't even like a top 5 guy. And then I felt like in the last couple months he's been jumping up draft boards. 6 foot 205, 21 years old. An impressive all-around athlete. Thielman is a dangerous weapon when working downhill, using impressive speed and explosiveness to fly down in the box, make big stops in the ground game. He's a sure tackler who brings a ton of pop in his pads, and he's a quick to process what's happening in front of him. Consistently putting himself in position to make plays, he has the intelligence and athleticism to be tasked with a wide range of roles and alignments, working from single high looks in the slot or down in the box. Thielman shows impressive ball skills when it comes his way, tracking and breaking at the right moment to break up passes or haul them in himself. He plays with the toughness and competitiveness, fire that rubs off on his teammates, and he comes through in the clutch. He's fired up right now. Dylan Thielman is a bear. And the best safeties in today's NFL have versatility. Athletic safeties who can line up all over the place, make big plays because of their mental and physical prowess. Thielman checks all the boxes, and he's polished enough to make an immediate impact, even in a complex role that asks a lot of him. Once he learns to be more disciplined in his pursuit angles, Thielman could be a Pro Bowler. Something just tells me that pick's going to work out. Houston makes a trade with Buffalo. Let's see what Houston needs right here. So Houston jumps back into the first round here with Buffalo, and the pick is in. So Houston with 2 first-round picks here. Need O lineman, D lineman. This could be Lemieux. I think Lemieux's going with one of these picks here. Need linebacker as well. But I think it's O-line or D-line right here for Houston. With these 2 picks. You got Lemieux still on the board. 6'6" right tackle. Texans received 26th overall pick and a 3rd round pick. 28th overall pick, a 3rd round pick, and a 5th round pick. Okay. Texans must have really liked someone here. Could this be a Peter Woods? I'll say Peter Woods or Caleb Lemieux.
With the 26th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Keelan Rutledge, guard, Georgia Tech.
Got some interior offensive line now. Actually, the 6th rated guard on this ranking right here, 6'4", 330, 22 years old. A punishing tone setter, Rutledge has an NFL ready frame, and knows how to use it. His broad, rock solid build provides an ideal base for his physical style, as Rutledge gets quick control of his assignments and routinely drives them into the dirt. He's a mauler in the run game who finishes every rep with elite effort, and he uses his size and strength to develop anchor with elite effort and stonewall interior rushes in the pass game. Power rushes have trouble beating him with brute strength, and speed rushers struggle to match his size with physicality. He uses his width and length to his advantage in the ground game, keeping defenders away from his frame and controlling them from snap to whistle. So you got Connor Lew, he's a center. You got Jake Slaughter, he's another center. Besantis goes before Besantis, the second greatest guard. You got Emmanuel Pragon as well. He goes before Pragon, who's 24 years old, by the way. Could be why a lot of teams are passing on him. Smoke a quick bowl and I'll be back. I ain't got no one watching anyways. Damn, Chris Johnson went to the Dolphins, San Diego State. We got a corner already. We didn't need that guy. That'd be cool if the Titans got that guy in the second round, Chris Johnson. Bigger cornerback. Good recovery speed. Buffalo trades up now to New England. So New England jumps up to pick number 28 now. Who could New England be getting here? I'm saying this is some pass rush help. It's got to be, right? Could this be defensive tackle? Maybe? Cade McDonald? Maybe some edge rush help? Getting a TJ Parker, Zion Young, R. Mason Thomas. Cassius Howell and Keldrick Falk still on the board too. Jermod McCoy is the best available right now. Corner Caleb Lemieux, an offensive tackle from Utah. The Patriots went offensive tackle last year. I don't think they're going to do that this year. We're going to get a good player. We're going to get Lemieux, Cooper. Lemieux is there. Our right tackle could be complete. The offensive line could be complete if we can just one more pick. And I know they're not going to take a offensive lineman here. Not back-to-back years. Don't grab the move. Have that option for us.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Caleb Lomu, tackle Utah.
Right before us, they took a tackle last year. Damn! We're not going to be able to figure out that offensive line. Shit. We're not going to be able to figure it out. Damn. Jalen Moore's going to have to start at right tackle. That was the last guy, man. That was the last guy, dude. And the Patriots jumped up. We couldn't trade up. We already traded up to 6. Now we're trading out at 29. Hey, if anybody needs 29, come up and get it. Or we can go with that wide receiver now. We get that Omar Cooper. Get a weapon from Mahomes, being that Rice isn't going to be there next year. Now I think you go to the backup plan here, and you go to Omar Cooper Jr. There's a lot of guys. Chris Bell, you'd be happy with him. I think it's going to be either Cooper, Bell, Cooper or Brown. Yeah, Cooper or Bell. Pick is in. They didn't waste any time, so they weren't trying to trade that pick. Man, the move was right there, man, at 28. Fuck. Last year, Simmons fell right to us. This year, we couldn't get that right tackle. There is just no more right tackles left. I guess now we'd have to go edge rusher, go with a 6'6" Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. Cassius Howell, 6'2", 248, 11.5 sacks last year. We can go with safety. I didn't even see linebacker too. Get a good linebacker, C.J. Allen or Anthony Hill Jr. I mean, they could go a lot of places here. They can go a lot of places here. I was thinking they would possibly trade out at 29 and maybe pick up some of that capital we lost trading up to 6. I don't even know what that trade was. Well, we definitely got the best corner. Now we can go get the second best corner in this draft. We can go double corner. We just had our DB coach arrested. Jesus, another coach got arrested, brother. What the fuck is going on, man? Damn, we had to give up a third. At least it wasn't the second, number 40. But we did have to give up a third round pick to go up to 6. That's tough. We had to give up a third. Not only did we give up a third, gave up 148 as well. What is that? A fifth or a sixth? Gave up a third and a fifth to go up 3 spots and get a corner. Here we go. Chiefs pick is coming up here. And then all the best remaining players are corners. Son of a bitch. That's why I wanted him to take a pass rusher. He couldn't take the pass rusher, though. He couldn't take him. Reese went number 5. See where they're going to go.
Kansas City Chiefs select Peter Woods.
Defensive tackle, pass rusher. Okay. Peter Woods. He can rush the passer too. Big ass dude. We need a guy right in the middle who can rush the passer like that. Let's go. All right, I like that pick. He's raw, though. It's a chance, bro. Best interior defensive lineman in this draft. 6'3", 310, 21 years old. There simply aren't many 310-pound human beings on the planet with the kind of athleticism Woods brings to the table. He explodes off the snap, immediately putting up opposing blockers on their heels and getting them off balance as they try to recover and anchor. He can be a dangerous weapon on stunts and twists as blockers who are late to engage him coming around or across have no hope of catching up once he gets a full head of steam. He brings the power you'd expect from such a massive interior defender to anchoring effectively against the run and commanding routine double teams. He's a high effort player whose nonstop motor jumps off the screen, and he's got versatility to line up in multiple spots across the defensive front. So the Chiefs get the best corner, and they get the best interior defensive line. Great value. Great value. I mean, we didn't settle at rankings of, 3, 4 at positions. They ended up getting the best defensive tackle in this draft. I mean, better production in 2024. It kind of fell off a little bit in 2025. 8.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks in 11 games, 28 tackles. Then in 2025, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits, 1 pass breakup. I mean, it's not a lot of production right there in the stats, but I mean, this guy, he can be a pass rushing defensive tackle with a good amount of development and refinement at the next level. His physical tools are alone to warrant a first-round pick. Throw in his every down effort that never seems to wane, and NFL teams won't have a problem spending an early pick to get his athleticism, versatility, power, and motor into the building, trusting their coaching staff to maximize those traits and turn them into bigger numbers than he had in college. So it just goes to show what they thought of Omar Norman Lott, their second-round pick last year. He ended up getting hurt. And now, I don't think this guy was their first guy. I think Lamu was the guy they wanted. Really do. But they ended up getting Peter Woods, the best defensive tackle on the board. But Banks ended up going before him. Yeah, Banks went before him. Banks goes before him. And really, Chris Jones isn't the same guy. He's really not. I see what they're doing. Maybe this could be the last year of Chris Jones. I think you might see some big changes. Chris Jones going next year. Rashee Rice possibly could be gone. If I had to give the Chiefs, it would have been a C, but because of the cornerbacks and Veach recognizing that Delane, the drop off from cornerbacks, and now with this Peter Woods selection, because of Chris Jones, maybe he can be a mentor to Peter Woods, help him out. But this defensive line needs to get better. It wasn't the first option, I'll tell you that. But Peter Woods almost kind of looks like a Bane, doesn't he, a little bit? 6'3", a little bit heavier than a Bane. 310. Hope this guy's got good character. I don't know nothing about his character. I didn't hear anything about him, but he's a high effort player whose nonstop motor jumps off the screen. And he's got versatility to line up in multiple spots across the defensive front. That's telling me right there that maybe he can play an end, like a bigger type of an end on rushing downs. Peter Woods and Mansour Delane getting a couple SEC guys, LSU and Clemson, coming to the Chiefs. Well, our defense was good last year. We lost some corners, lost a linebacker. They ended up using the 2 first-round picks on defense. Needed a right tackle, needed a playmaker. But I see what they're doing. We ended up giving that 3rd-round pick for Delane. Now we got 40. No chance for an offensive lineman. They got Ianakers already off the board. Unreal. Blake Miller went early. I mean, Jennings Dunker is out there. Isaiah World is out there. It's going to be a reach on one of these tackles. Maybe they go with maybe they go with the wide receiver with that 2nd-round pick. Mahomes definitely needs a weapon. I don't know. Wasn't a sexy draft, tell you that. Just for having 2 first-round picks. Rarely do you get 2 first-round picks and then to take but you did get the best 2 guys at the positions, I want to say. Wasn't drafted like that. Kid from Florida went before Peter Woods, but looking at these mock drafts for about a year now, Peter Woods was like a top 15 pick for a while. So some drafts had him in that 10 to 20 range. So Chiefs got a good player here. If they didn't grab him now, he would have been gone early in the 2nd round anyways. It wasn't like it was too much of a reach at all. All in all, I give this first round for the Chiefs a B. Yeah, I give B minus for Peter Woods, being that they couldn't trade up and try to get this Lamo guy and figure out our offensive line. That's not going to be fixed, being now that they had 2 first-round picks and they tried to wait it out. And the whole, just unbelievable. I don't think you would have even expected Ianaker to go that high. He goes 21 to the Steelers. Miller goes before him. Monroe Freeland goes to the Lions. And then the Patriots come up and get Lemieux. Wasn't expecting that. Proctor goes to the to the Vikings, I want to say. I don't know. Magayu goes 10. Fano goes to the Browns. Man. There's one guy left, Jennings Dunker, but he's one of those tackles that they're saying is better for guard. Could stick at right tackle. Jennings could stick at right tackle and have a long, successful career in a power scheme. Chiefs don't run a power scheme, or unless they're changing it on offense. Keldrick Falk goes 31 to the Titans, 6'6". Big defensive end, not a lot of production. Seahawks coming up next with the last pick in the first round. Then we'll recap it. Been a fast first round. Usually these drafts last about 4 hours, but we've now might hit under 3 hours in this draft. So it was a good draft. Got a lot of videos to make about Raiders and Eagles and Chiefs coming up. A lot of work to do. Let's see, do we have any? Yeah, Purdy Girl. Purdy Girl showed up, and then we had DB that came in. Super Bowl champion Seahawks coming up next. Quick draft. Damn, under 3 hours. Need an offensive lineman, linebacker, edge, corner. For some reason, I just thinking defense here. Maybe a linebacker. And ended up getting Mansour Delane. Played 4 years at LSU, 44 games, 191 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, no sacks, 1 quarterback hit. That's going to change. 4 forced fumbles. Nice. 8 interceptions. 11 pass breakups. And ended up getting a Peter Woods. "35 games in 3 years at Clemson, 84 tackles. Tackles was always around 30. But again, 2.5 tackles for loss his freshman year, 8.5 his sophomore year, and then dropped off to 3.5. No sacks his freshman year, 3 his sophomore year, and then 2 his junior year. It's just there's not a lot of production on the stat sheet. He's got good effort, though. from what it says right here, because I didn't watch a lot of Peter Woods, but it says he doesn't give up on plays. Thank God, that's what we need. Don't need a guy that gives up on plays.
I'm thrilled to be joined by Dylan, a huge fan of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, who bravely battled a brain tumor and is now a two-time cancer survivor. This is a wish come true for Dylan, and a chance
I bet you
to
the
take part
Seahawks
in
get
one of the most
McCoy.
exciting moments in our league. Dylan, when you're
They lost Reek Woolen. I bet you they get the number 2 cornerback.
I'm so excited to be here to represent the 12s. Oh, and the reigning Super Bowl champion.
Did he say the Raiders?
And with that, with the 32nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jadarian Price, Notre Dame, running back.
Wow. Nobody had this guy going. Wow. Jeremiah Love's backup. Well, actually, they split carries, but this guy's a 3rd round pick. Wow. Can't believe he became a 1st round pick. A lot of people had him as the number 2 running back, but it was just a big drop off from Love to him. He's still a good player, though. Like, he's going to be able to start. Like, he could be dangerous. 5'11", 210, 22 years old. They lost K9. Getting a Jadarian Price. One of the biggest concerns when projecting Price's value at the next level will be his role in his workload, having the change of pace back for the Fighting Irish behind Jeremiah Love. It's possible he could prove to be a workhorse in his own right given the chance in the NFL, but that's pure projection. As with most college backs, Price's technique and consistency as a pass protector will need refinement from the NFL. So, I mean, not much. I mean, pass protector is the only thing he struggles with. Jonah Coleman's out there. Mike Washington. So I didn't think we'd see a running back until the 3rd round, but Jadarian Price goes in the 1st round to the Seahawks. There you have it. 1st round is over. Started off here, we got Mendoza going to the Raiders. Simpson got drafted, I want to say, to the Rams. Yeah. Didn't think that was coming. Love goes to the Arizona Cardinals. Price goes to the Seahawks. You got Tate that went to, I forget where he went, but he got drafted the 1st one. Then you got Limon that went to Philly. Tyson drafted. Again, Concepcion got drafted as well. Cooper's still on the board. A lot of good wide receivers still on the board. Sadiq gets drafted, I want to say, to the Vikings. Only tight end drafted. A bunch of offensive tackles went. Fano goes to the Browns. Magayo goes to the next pick. Lemieux goes to the Patriots. Proctor went in that 10 to 20 range. Freeland goes to the Lions. Blake Miller got drafted. Enocher got drafted by the Steelers. Man, a lot of tackles got drafted. Leon got drafted by the Ravens. Then Keelan Rutledge. That was a surprise. He goes in the first round as well. Arvo Reese. Ruben Bain Jr. goes 14 to, he slips. He goes 14 to the Tampa Bay. Takes a chance on him. Jets grab David Bailey, which is a surprise. A lot of people thought Arvo Reese was going to go number 2. Keldrick Falk goes 31. Mesidor goes to the Chargers. It's going to be tough to deal with. He's going to be a problem. Peter Woods, the number 1 interior defensive lineman in this draft. Banks went before him, but in a lot of ratings, Peter Woods, it wasn't a great interior defensive line draft, but the Chiefs got the best corner and they got the best interior defensive lineman. What I like about Woods compared to Banks is Woods is 21, Banks is 23, obviously can help win now. You can put him in 6'6", 330, better size. But Woods is 6'3", 310, and I think Woods, at some point in time, because if you look at a Lawrence, like a Dexter Lawrence, it's kind of like the same size as him, like a smaller defensive tackle. He's not 6'6", 6'5". Still get leverage on those centers and guards. Sonny Styles goes to, I want to say, to the Redskins. Only linebacker drafted. C.J. Allen, Anthony Hill Jr., Jacob Rodriguez. A lot of people like him. Josiah Trotter. Some really good linebackers going to be drafted day 2. Chiefs get the best corner in this draft, Mansour Delane out of LSU. Trade up to 6. They give up pick number 74, pick number 48, pick number 9, and go up to pick 6. They get a Mansour Delane. And there wasn't a corner taken after him. He's the only cornerback taken in this draft so far. Nobody's taking a chance on McCoy. Nobody's taking a chance on Hood, Terrell, Cisse. Some good line. Oh, Chris Johnson went in the first round. A lot of people like his size, 6 foot, 195. D'Angelo Pons, good slot corner, still on the board. Some safeties ended up going. Caleb Downs. They go to the Giants or the Jets? No, the Cowboys. Dylan Dienman also went in the first round. Only 2 safeties went. Bud Clark still on the board. I like him. Out of TCU, 6'2", 190. Really, it was a quick draft. Fast draft. But Chiefs wasn't the guys that I wanted, but it was some positional needs that I guess they needed. Peter Woods, I don't know what the hell was happening there, but can't really say that they didn't give value there because he's the best defensive tackle of that position, so you can't really hate on it. Can't really hate on the corner pick as well either because there was no other corners taken in the first round. So just the drop-off between the positions the Chiefs got. I mean, they're obviously going to get the best players in this draft at those positions. Their defense got worse this offseason, but they helped it out in this draft in the first round. Still a lot of work to do, but thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for day 2 of the NFL.